What's up, YouTubers? This is the DEMKO knives AD-20 Slim, or S. AD-20S, I guess, but it stands for Slim. If you kind of take a look at this, let me go ahead and pull in the standard AD-20. You'll notice, look at that blade stock. I'll get the measurements when I actually do the review of the Slim. I've already done the review of the full size and done the scale swap. I'll go ahead and link that up above. This is with the original goat. I believe it was the expanded metal pattern. Absolutely love it. So it's a full tie. Was a breeze, and the thing just runs beautifully. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the AD-20S. And this is one, I just didn't want to carry it because, I don't know. I like an orange knife, but I tend to like it more on a fixed blade that I'm kind of taking out in the wild. Not necessarily carrying on me, having it stick out of my pocket like that. I don't know. It's just kind of that's kind of an announcement. It's just strange. So I wanted something a little more subtle, but something that would also make this beautiful knife even more beautiful. And so what I have tonight is the Lexan scales from Original Goat. Original Goat, I have done many showings of theirs. They're not a sponsor. I just absolutely love their product, made in the USA, and they have made so many models that much better. This Lexan, the good thing about it versus, I'll go ahead and move that out of the way, is that it's a plastic apparently that has the dielectric resistance and heat. I guess the ability to fight off heat when it's being machine milled, just like I would say yellow stuff Ultim, but this comes in many different colors. This particular one is ice blue, so I didn't want straight clear. I wanted something that had just a little bit of color. But I think if you take a look at this thing, it's gonna just be awesome. Of course, the orange is there underneath. But I'm going to go ahead and do the scale swap on these guys, and then we'll talk a little bit about them. As I recall, when I did do the full titanium one of the things that you need to have is on hand, I believe was for some of the pins in here. They were a little bit tight and snug, so just make sure that you have I have it somewhere, here it is, a Teflon pry bar to kind of help separate some things out. But otherwise, I'm looking forward to how this goes, and I will kind of go into fast forward mode, and then we'll talk about it after. Okay, post-installation, couple things, very important to note. We went from 5.5 ounces with the G10. The orange ones are gone. I don't know what, I forgot where I put them. But those definitely had a slight bit increase in rigidity. But these are, you really got to squeeze hard to get any sort of. So in terms of the regular human handle, not a big deal. There's just the slightest bit of rigidity difference. But you go from 5.5 ounces to 4.8 ounces. So these are definitely a fair bit lighter. Do they change the point of balance too much? No, not necessarily in the wrong direction. It's a little bit closer to the pivot, but in the hand, you kind of like it almost where this finger is, just behind the pivot. But it doesn't feel, kind of cheap like the Hogue Deca with the just the whatever, the polymer scales, which literally feels like a toy and like it's gonna fall over. That's a problem. This is not a problem. This particular pattern is the drift pattern. It's kind of one of their new ones, and it basically has like these waves milled into it. Provides for good grip. It's not as good as the diamond pattern G10 that comes with the AD-20 and AD-20S natively. The sound, which was never as good with this thinner model anyway, and especially not as good as the big fat model. When you put the full titanium, it just sounds like a 6-shooter being cocked. This one, so you're never gonna get that with the thinner one anyway. But it still sounds nice, just like maybe just a little bit smaller 6-shooter, possibly like a 38 or something instead of a 44. So the cool thing I like about this, obviously, is you get to see the mechanism on the inside. I love getting to see the blade, how it lines right in there. Looks very, very cool. Here on the show side, it's just absolutely love it. I'd love to have these be clear, of course, but you can't have the steel liners that your shark lock mechanism goes in there with be clear. The other thing to make note on this one was, oh gosh, what was it? I had one more thing to make note. Not only that it's lighter, oh yeah, and the point of center balance, and that's it. Other than that, oh yeah, no, I know what it was. What I really, really like about this is it shows kind of the mechanism. Sorry, I might be jizzing you. I'm just kind of looking at the knife. But it kind of shows where the AD-20 doesn't have a stop pin per se in the closed position. It does in the open position. You'll see very much kind of like the triad lock. You end up with similar behavior where you have the stop pin there as well as the flat surface locked out. But when it goes down in the other direction, you'll notice there's no stop pin there, and you can actually see exactly what's happening. This little part of the ricasso is acting just like a kind of like a kick on a slip joint knife, where that's what it's banging up against. Is that goes up to the back of that what do we call this, the the trigger device? But that's kind of a cool thing just to get to see that happen. It goes boop. Gets sucked right back in, and you get to see where the tip is. So for me, yeah, absolutely kind of love it. Original Goat, you knocked it out of the park again. I'm just rambling on at this point. If you like these, go get some. Again, this is the Ice Blue Drift Pattern AD-20, which fits both the AD-20 and the AD-20 Slim S. So take care.